A weekend manhunt for an escaped prisoner ends in capture, and one local candidate is disqualified from tribal elections.
Police in Red Springs are offering a reward for information connected to a shooting, and people all over are getting into the spirit of Halloween. I'm Mihaela Trace.
And I'm Jayla Coley. Stay tuned for another episode of Carolina News Today. A Pembroke man has been arrested on multiple drug charges. According to the Robertsonian newspaper, sheriff's deputies responded to complaints of people selling drugs from vehicles in the area of Deep Branch Road. The suspect, Jeremy C. Scott, allegedly led officers on a short car chase that ended in Maxton. Deputies then allegedly discovered cocaine, prescription medication, marijuana, a firearm, and drug paraphernalia in his vehicle or on his person. Scott was later placed in the Robeson County Detention Center on a $621,000 bond.
The Lumbee Tribe Supreme Court has disqualified a candidate for tribal chairman in the upcoming elections. The candidacy of Ron Oxendine was challenged because he has a deed of trust on a home in Southern Pines that is identified in the paperwork as his principal residence until at least the summer of 2022. Southern Pines is outside the official tribal territory. Oxendine could not produce proof to satisfy the court that his address in Maxton is his principal place of residence. The court had also ordered the tribe's Board of Elections to send out correct absentee ballots, rather than postpone the November 9th election. 3 candidates remain in the running for tribal chairman.
The Red Springs Police Department and Crime Stoppers are offering a cash reward for information that helps them identify the gunman in Thursday's shooting at Westgate Apartments. According to police, 2 people drove into the parking lot around 11:30 at night in a dark 4-door sedan shown here and shot into an occupied vehicle. A 20-year-old Red Springs resident was shot and taken to an unnamed hospital for treatment. No other injuries have been reported. You can contact the Red Springs Police Department at 910-843-3454.
An inmate at Scotland County Correctional Institution who walked away from a job site Thursday and escaped in a stolen dump truck is back in custody. After a manhunt over the weekend, inmate Richard Mundy was captured Saturday on Business 220 North in Randolph County. The 53-year-old was serving a 28-year sentence as a habitual felon and had a conviction for robbery with a dangerous weapon. He has now been moved to a higher custody state prison and faces charges for the escape.
The English Honor Society Sigma Tau Delta hosted a roundtable discussion on race relations last week. Invited panelists engaged their student audience in conversations about issues and personal experiences. Here's a sampling of what participants had to say about it.
And I just want to say that this was a great experience. I was approached by a friend to speak on the panel at first, but I thought I would be more comfortable doing the co-moderation task. It was so interesting to hear everyone else's opinions, their views, their perspectives on the questions that were presented. Honestly, it was just overall a learning experience that I hope that we will be able to continue on in future times.
Overall, it was very informative, and it really helped me learn a lot about what I can do on campus. It's actually encouraged me to become more involved, so hopefully I'll be able to do more for race relations and speak out a bit more, use my voice to help others.
Very wary on me going there because I didn't think that my voice was needed or that my lack of information on these topics, or what I thought were the topics, wasn't going to be helpful. But after going to this and seeing different perspectives and similar backstories, or the better word, similar experiences, it enlightened me and allowed me to speak on my topics.
Like the conversations surrounding race are just one of those ones that are very hard for people to have. I know that it can be hard for even me, but I think it's important that we have them so that other students know and are accustomed to listening to them and having them, so that it becomes less stigmatized, and maybe we can talk about it more in a way that leads to conclusions and solutions to some of the problems that we see nowadays.
You can't have fall without pumpkin, and today is the day to celebrate the versatile gourd. Whether you enjoy pumpkin decor, pumpkin farms, or pumpkin spice lattes, National Pumpkin Day is the day to fulfill all your pumpkin obsessions. There are many ways to celebrate. Carve a jack-o'-lantern, roast pumpkin seeds, visit a pumpkin patch, decorate, or get a pumpkin pie into the oven. You can share photos of your creations on social media with the hashtag National Pumpkin Day.
And what event is associated with pumpkins more than Halloween? Nothing. And Halloween is right around the corner. Students on campus are excited because apparently you're never too old to celebrate this holiday.
I don't think there's an age limit to stop celebrating Halloween. Adults like to have fun. I don't think it's just something for kids to do. I don't really think it's at one specified age, because you can go to a Halloween party. You don't necessarily have to go trick-or-treating, but people like dressing up.
I feel like the age limit to stop celebrating Halloween is whenever you die.
Age to stop is probably like mid-20s, once you're going out partying.
Honestly, limitless. Like, you can be in your 50s, 60s.
I don't know, I guess like early 20s.
30s, 40s, like, especially it's just the type of Halloween and the exposure. I think it's gonna be very rated R.
I believe that you're never too old to celebrate Halloween.
You should never have an age limit to celebrate Halloween. You should dress up. I feel like it's a fun thing. Now the kids should be. The candy should be for the kids.
It's always time to eat candy, junk food, you know.
It's no wonder Americans are expected to spend a record $10 billion on Halloween this year. That's according to the National Retail Federation. They say people will spend $2 billion more this year than last year. Most of it will go to costumes. The NRF is projecting consumers will spend $3.3 billion on costumes, the most in 4 years. The average consumer is expected to spend $102 on candy, decorations, or costumes for adults, kids, and pets.
Over housing conditions at a prominent university.
And another university halts all fraternity activity after a party gets dangerous.
The investigation continues into the fatal shooting of a film set by actor Alec Baldwin.
Those stories and more coming up after these messages.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you.
Officials are learning more about Thursday's deadly incident on the set of Alec Baldwin's new Western that's filming in New Mexico. They've seized all of the weapons, cameras, and some other equipment from the set of the production, where cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally shot with a prop gun by Baldwin. With their search warrant, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office also took the costumes worn by the actors at the time of the incident. Yesterday, the production team sent a letter to the cast and crew halting all work until the investigation is complete. They say they are cooperating with police and conducting an internal safety review.
As Congress debates the details of President Biden's infrastructure plan, historically black colleges and universities are anxious to see if they'll receive enough money to make much-needed infrastructure repairs on their campuses. And now, some students are raising other concerns. Chris Wynn has a story from Washington.
At Howard University, an ongoing protest is dampening the mood during homecoming week.
We're sold this dream, right? Howard the illustrious, the Mecca.
Students like sophomore Tandiwe Abdullah calling attention to poor living conditions, which they say include rats, roaches, and mold. Videos provided by students offer a glimpse into the situation.
We've been so conditioned about the image and about the prestige, we kind of forget that we do deserve better than this.
In a recent letter to the campus community, a university official wrote that they invited the building inspector to tour their residence halls and that no regulatory findings or fines were administered to the university or to its housing provider. Community members have been stopping by to support the students.
You're human first before you're someone that's going to be working in the work field, and human conditions always need to be met.
Using data from Gordian, a recent analysis by Educational Facilities Association APPA estimates that higher ed campuses face a maintenance backlog of more than $112 billion. Experts say the problems are worse at historically black colleges and universities such as Howard compared to their wealthier and predominantly white-serving counterparts.
Historically black colleges and universities, like black people, have been underfunded and underinvested in since their inception.
That's why UNCF, also known as the United Negro College Fund, is pushing federal lawmakers to allocate more money for HBCUs as part of President Biden's Build Back Better plan.
I'm inspired to try to figure out what the institutions can actually accomplish if they actually have the proper investment.
In addition to much-needed repairs, the funds could help schools build or modernize research laboratories and upgrade their networks.
We just really want to make the school a better place for the next generation of students who are coming in.
A push to level the playing field throughout the country. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
The University of Missouri has suspended all fraternity social activities at its main campus in Columbia. The action is in response to a freshman being hospitalized with alcohol poisoning after a party Wednesday night. Here's Isabella Dawn from KOMU.
Phi Gamma Delta is facing 2 investigations, one with MUPD for criminal charges and the other with MU's Office of Accountability for conduct violations, while university officials and fraternity student leaders review current policies.
We decided in tandem to put a halt on all fraternity activity so that we can review the practices and the policies that are in place to ensure safety for all of those activities.
On Thursday, students walked past the chapter house, where a student-led protest took place the night before. Students protested the fraternity's actions from Wednesday and other violations from earlier in the year. Phi Gamma Delta chapters at other college campuses are facing similar investigations and violations.
The fact that this has happened like multiple times, and not just here, it's just there's been multiple marches, protests, and it's just ridiculous. Like, something needs to change, and the things that they're doing to try and change it is not working.
This isn't the first violation Phi Gamma Delta has with the university, but it is the first time university officials have taken action against all MU fraternities following one incident. In August, the fraternity had a violation involving alcohol distribution. In April, the fraternity had a hazing violation. University officials say safety remains a priority.
Whenever we have a situation where we feel that a student's health and well-being is threatened, we're going to take action immediately, and we've done that here. We want to take a deeper look into the processes that are set up.
100,000 Teslas. That's the massive order placed by rental car company Hertz. It's Tesla's largest order ever by a single buyer. The purchase also represents the biggest move into electric vehicles by a rental car company by far. Hertz says the move is to address customer demand for EV cars, but is also linked to rental car companies having trouble lately getting gasoline-powered cars from traditional automakers because of a shortage of computer chips and other parts. Hertz emerged from bankruptcy over the summer.
A new United Nations report says that greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have reached a record high. According to the annual Greenhouse Gas Bulletin, the concentration of carbon dioxide was 149% higher in 2020 than before global industrialization. The last time CO2 levels were this high was 3 to 5 million years ago. Scientists say the Earth was up to 3 Celsius degrees warmer and water levels were up to 20 meters higher back then. The current trend puts us on a road to far exceed the 2-degree temperature increase limit set by the Paris Agreement. The findings come less than a week ahead of the COP26 climate talks scheduled to begin Sunday in Scotland.
Braves fans had a lot of fun and saw a lot of wins during homecoming weekend.
Andrew Thrift is here to tell us about the victories on the gridiron, the pitch, the volleyball court, and off campus as well.
Stick around, that's next.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Hi Brave Nation, I'm Andrew Thrift, and I've got a lot to tell you about the weekend in UNCP sports. First up, football. Homecoming festivities and a huge opponent in town had the Braves fired up and ready as they hosted the Golden Eagles of Charleston. It was a matchup that didn't go so well last spring when the Braves let them get away with 42 points on the Eagles' home turf Saturday. Saturday, the Braves had an unbelievable game from the defense as they held the Charleston offense that's been averaging more than 37 points per game to 8 first half points. But the Braves offense was nothing short of amazing as well. UNCP was pulling off trick plays and moving the ball with ease. And it seemed at one point that this game was destined for a Braves victory. The Golden Eagles, however, did attempt a second half comeback, but the Braves defense was just too much. And Pembroke would go on to win 21-14 in a huge conference upset. Coach Richardson said he knew last week's practices were long and grueling, but that the payoff was well worth it.
I can't tell you how proud I am of our team. We've been talking about a lot of things all week. We've been trying to learn from mistakes. We've had a lot of themes in terms of what we're trying to focus on, and felt like I was actually concerned about this week's practice and didn't really know what it was going to look like today. And they made a choice, and they made a choice to come in with great energy, great effort, and it led to great execution.
Wide receiver Rodney Smith's trick play and the team's win overall had him feeling a little overwhelmed after the contest.
I don't know. It felt like a movie. Like that play with Trey, it's just like I looked up and just saw him catch it with one hand, and I was like, oh my God. Like, this can't be real. So, yeah, it felt real good. It's probably the most excited I've been in a football game in a long time. So, I'm glad we got the dub.
Thursday was Braves basketball's Moonlight Madness, and the men's and women's team did not disappoint. Fans got a preview of the exciting season to come, starting with the men's scrimmages. Here's where they got to show off their high-flying abilities, Brave versus Braves. Then the women's scrimmage, where their shot-making ability was front and center. The team exhibition ended with another high-flying showcase, the dunk contest. That's when Ray Faison took home the crown for best dunker on the squad. The Braves' first home game is November 17th against regional rival Fayetteville State. Braves soccer is now on an 11-game win streak after they defeated Southern Wesleyan on Saturday at home. Anna Grossheim's goal just 13 seconds into the contest gave the Braves an early advantage that was nearly relinquished as they went on to win 4-1. This win is the 11th consecutive win of the season, which now matches the program's best run of success originally posted by the team back in 2008. The Braves' next game is Wednesday against Mount Olive on senior night at Lumbee River EMC Stadium. Volleyball offset 33 attack errors with 10 service aces and 8 blocks Saturday in their 5th set against Mount Olive. The Braves used this dominant performance in the 5th set to ward off an upset from Mount Olive and came away with a 3-2 victory. Standout Brianna Warren had 12 kills and 7 blocks and 2 service aces. The Braves will take an out-of-conference match today when they head to Newbury for a rematch against the Wolves. Men's and women's cross-country finished runner-up at the Conference Carolina Championships in Mount Olive over the weekend. Joshua Chepkesser and Jacqueline Kosgei each got individual titles on Saturday. Joshua Chepkesser covered the 8K in 24, 13, 2, and now has 4 straight individual conference championship titles. Chepkesser was named Conference Carolina's Male Runner of the Year. On the women's side, Jacqueline Cosgay picked up her first individual title as well as the program's first conference championship title since 2012, when they were still in the Peach Belt Conference. Cosgay was tabbed as Female Runner of the Year as well as Freshman of the Year. The Braves will take a 2-week break before competing again on November 6th for the NCAA Southeast Region Championship.
Thanks, Andrew. It sounds like the Braves fans got everything they could want over the weekend.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I stopped at a few of those events. But this weekend's going to be a lot more fun. It's Halloween.
That's right. And I'm Jayla Coley. And on behalf of Michaela Trace, happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week.